Hi, it's Maria Rini, and you are here out and about with the Welcome Home team. Here we are in Clifton, New Jersey, and today Corey Waters, our fabulous buyer's agent, is going to be interviewing Tom Rachelski, and we're here at the Ghost Hawk Brewing Company. So I'll let these guys take a seat, grab a beer, and tell you all about it.
Where are you sitting, Tom?
Yeah,
You sitting on?
so, yeah.
You gonna sit on that side? All right.
A good side.
We're gonna keep apart here for social distance.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for taking the time today, man. We
Yeah,
appreciate it.
thanks for having
so
me.
we're here at Ghost Hawk Brewery in Clifton. One of your brainchild, many things that you do.
Yeah.
Tell us about the brewery a little bit. How did you come to want to be an owner in a brewery?
Well, actually, it was through social media. My best friend in high school, his older brother, Steve, I've been in touch with him for 20 plus years via Facebook. And he just put out a post on Facebook saying, hey, listen, anybody out there that's interested in opening up a business, he had a small brand management company and a t-shirt company. He's like, I'm super creative. I do all these amazing designs. I can build a brand. I just need an idea and capital. So let's come meet with me at my house, and we'll come up with some ideas. We'll brainstorm.
Awesome. Okay, so why did you pick Clifton? Just because of the area?
Well, actually, my first idea was to go to New York, because New Jersey has
Manhattan.
no,
New
no,
York?
in Rockland County.
Okay, all right.
Rockland County, yeah, because in New Jersey, it's sad, but the New Jersey liquor laws are actually the same as since Prohibition ended. So they haven't really changed at all. So when you're watching Boardwalk on HBO, whatever liquor laws are found there, those are literally the same liquor laws that are in place.
That's crazy.
So it's very archaic and it's very backwards, which is probably one reason that New Jersey, and a per capita basis, has actually the fewest amount of breweries. Where you go to New York or California, which is a huge GDP, still has thousands of breweries.
Right.
And it's a very thriving beer culture.
I guess it's just interesting to think because in Bergen and Passaic, there's like 5 within 10 minutes of my house.
Yeah, well, that's just recently. There really were
It
only
has
2.
been recent,
yeah,
yeah.
there's only really 2 for the longest time. But we decided to go to Clifton because it was our hometown. Steve and I and Danny, his brother, we all grew up in Clifton, New Jersey.
Okay.
So not a lot of nice hometown roots. And also, we were introduced by our neighbor, Silk City Distillery, who's been open for about 3 or 4 years too. So they thought it'd be great synergy having a brewery right next to a distillery. I thought the real synergy is with Rutt's Hot dogs across the street.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's definitely a situation with 1 + 1 + 1 = 5.
If you haven't been to Rutt's Hut, visit Rutt's Hut and have a Ripper.
Ripper, yeah, that's right.
Yes, absolutely. So how long you been here? 2 years?
No, only a year and a half. It feels like 5 years with the whole coronavirus, right? But
That's
our
crazy.
1-year anniversary was supposed to be in April.
Right.
But that's just when coronavirus came down hard, right?
I remember right when you guys started. It was great. Me and my wife came and we met you initially, and that's kind of where we started, kind of building a relationship around things. So Ghost Hawk, you were telling us a story before, but I don't know how many people actually know this story.
Yeah, it's
How did you get to the name?
a beautiful logo. My business partner Steve came up with, but there's a little bit of a sad story behind it. Most people just say it sounds cool, but I'll give your audience the scoop on the real story behind it. So Danny was my best friend in high school. We always got in a lot of mischief together, and eventually I joined the military when I was 17 years old. Actually, that's interesting. And then I went kind of like a different path than Danny. But Danny did actually end up cleaning himself up, but he did suffer from opioid addiction and passed away about 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
And he had a tattoo on his arm that said "Hawk Talk," and he was obsessed with hawks. And I'll tell you a side story quick. They had a Groupon for the Raptor Trust, where you can go and you can go pet a hawk, right? And I almost got it with my daughters. I was this close to buying it and going with my daughters, like, hey, girls, you want to pet a hawk?
Right.
For whatever reason, I didn't end up doing it. But Danny actually ended up buying the Groupon, and he was joking around. He was the only adult there without a child. That's how obsessed he was with hawks.
Okay. It seems like a super cool thing to do.
Yeah, it is cool, yeah. But so we went and then unfortunately at his funeral, we saw it was crazy, 5 or 10 hawks. You see maybe a hawk once or twice a year.
Yeah.
We saw dozens just that day, and while we were driving on the highway, right above the church, this hawk swooping down at the car,
Right.
which is unbelievable.
It's crazy.
And so when Steve and I kind of reconnected, we talked about what kind of business idea we want to come up with. We kind of talked about beer, and then we were talking about what we're brewing, and then we were talking about the logo and the name. And Steve kind of Hawk Talk kind of morphed into Ghost Hawk.
Okay.
So it's very emotional for us because Danny was important to both of us. So it's almost an homage to Danny too.
That's great. Well, super cool. So while we're talking about Ghost Hawk,
Yes. Yeah.
what do we have in front of us?
Well, so first let's start with the lighter color beer here.
The cherry dandelion.
Yes, it's the cherry Dedalian,
Love.
which is the Greek demigod.
Wait a minute. I've been saying it wrong?
Yes.
Man, for like as long as you've had this beer, me and my wife have been saying it wrong. So say it again.
It's Dedalian.
Dedalian.
Yes, and people say,
Okay.
"Can I have the dandelion beer?"
I have never said dandelion
Yeah,
because I
that's
knew
it.
that was
Yeah.
wrong.
In fact, somebody gave us a 1-star Yelp review. They were like, "That dandelion beer, you barely taste the dandelion in it." We're like, "No, there's
Okay.
zero dandelion."
Right.
But the dandelion
Okay.
was the Greek demigod that morphed into a hawk.
Interesting.
And so this beer, we kind of changed the flavor around depending on the season, and so this is our summer version of the cherry Dedalian. It's actually made with French Montmorency tart cherries, so it doesn't have
It's
that
delicious.
overly sweet flavor to it.
Cheers. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Right, right.
All right, and we're going to try one more, then we're going to go to something else because this man does a lot more than just hang out here at the brewery and own things. So what do we got here?
So the second beer is, we've only been around about a year and a half, but we're very grateful for our fans, our loyal customers, and also all the bars and restaurants that do purchase our beer. We're at over 100 different bars and restaurants before coronavirus. So we're constantly brewing beer, and this is actually our anniversary, our 100th batch of beer that we brewed. So in less than a year and a half, we made 100 batches.
100 different batches. Did
We've
you
got
plan
15
that?
barrel brew house.
Did you plan that to hit 100 at 1 year?
No.
Okay, it just worked out that
It
way.
just worked out that year.
Okay.
So,
Well, I haven't tried this yet.
So this is a Imperial IPA. It's almost 9.5% made with passion fruit. So if you like bitter IPAs, this is great because the passion adds like tenfold to the bitterness.
And you have this in cans, growlers.
Yes, we've expanded our canning operations drastically since coronavirus. So we have almost all of our beers in cans. And if you're a bar or restaurant, we have the Apex Predator New England IPA, which is our #1 selling beer in kegs,
Right.
as well as the Ghost Hawk Lager, which is our German-style lager.
So this is delicious. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
So you had mentioned the pandemic, and real quick before we shift gears, how did the brewery handle the pandemic, the quarantine? What did you have to do to adapt your business model?
So luckily, beer is considered an essential item because there'd be 10 times more rioting in the streets if we didn't have our beer to calm us down. So we were considered essential, but we had to close the tap room. We're not open but we're not open to the public. So we actually set up a takeout counter at the front of the brewery. We're open 7 days a week now. Usually we had very limited hours, but now it's 7 days a week. So any of your fans can come by the brewery, and we have a big ice bucket in the front, so you get cold, fresh beer. And we also have a couple tables set up too. We have a small patio outside, so you can also sit down and enjoy a beer.
That's great. Yeah, it's a super cool spot to come and hang out if you've never been here. So come down to Ghost Talk, see Tom and the staff. It's pretty awesome. So moving on, shifting gears. So you live in Lodi currently, so do I.
Yes.
We kind of got to talking about it, and the Lodi Chamber of Commerce, we're both members. You're the president. I just became a second chamber delegate of the Lodi Chamber of Commerce. So yeah, so it had kind of become defunct for a while, right? It kind of just didn't really do a lot, and then you're starting to revive it a little bit.
Yeah, well, the Lodi Chamber of Commerce was one of the oldest chambers in Bergen County.
Okay.
And in fact, the Hasbrook Heights Chamber, I joined to kind of research opening up a chamber. And the Hasbrook Heights president, funny, he said he actually modeled the Hasbrook Heights Chamber after the old Lodi Chamber.
Okay.
And unfortunately, after the 2008, Great Recession, the chamber kind of fell out of favor and just kind of petered out. And so that was my goal, is kind of bring back the Lodi Chamber of Commerce to the Lodi residents, but take a different angle where it's a lot more community focused. It's not just a bunch of business owners having lunch once a month, but how to develop entrepreneurism in the town, how to get students involved in volunteering more, how to get businesses to connect them to their customers better, and most importantly also create a great networking environment for businesses to sell each other.
It has been so far, and I know that we can take it so much further than we have. One thing that, I don't know if it came out of it, but another arm of that is Lodi Can.
The Lodi Can,
Yeah, tell us about Lodi Can.
Yeah, so the Lodi Can is a Lodi Community Action Network. It's the 501c3 arm of the chamber, and it's very unique because a lot of chambers don't have a 501c3. So if you donate to a chamber, you can only deduct your money if you're a business, which is 501c6 or something like that.
Okay.
But now this is great because we can collect funds from residents and use it for activities to help help improve the life of residents and help everyone out. And a big thing we've done, we've helped fund the food pantry in Lodi.
Yeah, there's been a lot happening with that.
So we've helped Jeff Lavender with getting donations for his organization. The Girl Scouts, we've helped them with a lot of their activities, planting trees around the town. We've also helped get grants for the high school, so we're actually got a $5,000 grant from Great Clips that we're actually using to rebuild their tech room, so where they can have more computers and learn more about CGI, learn more editing and software to really prepare Lodi students for the tech world.
That's super cool, man. That's a lot of community activity, and I don't understand how you find time to do everything that you do.
I don't sleep. That's what I
You
do.
still have a full-time job.
Yeah.
On top of all this, you have a full-time job and a family, and a wonderful family.
And I coach too.
Lodi Little League.
Yeah.
So how has that changed? So is that coming?
Well, luckily,
how are you working that?
softball and baseball is a socially distant sport. So we evolve the league a little bit to make sure that kids don't huddle in the dugout. So now the kids hang out in the bleachers, and so we can easily kind of make sure they all stay 6 feet away.
Okay.
And it's great. It's a fun sport, and mostly it gets kids out of the house too. Because I feel like all the kids are sitting around playing on their Nintendo Switches and watching TV in the last 6 months. For them, it's been like heaven, right?
My son has been doing a lot more Nintendo Switch than I was comfortable with him doing, but it was part of his social, interacting with his friends when he couldn't actually physically see them. So, it happens.
But having a softball is a great way to get them out. And now we're trying to figure out. I'm working right now with the Garrett Luna from the recreation department. I'm bringing in new, non-traditional, low-contact sports. So we're thinking about doing tennis. We're thinking about doing golf.
Well, we got all the good tennis courts right over there at the Memorial Building.
Sports, golf, and just come up with maybe non-traditional sports. Maybe start track and field back up or something, and just get the kids out and running and moving.
That's great. So, like I said, this man does a lot of things, an amazing amount of things for community outreach, for businesses, for everything else. And, Ghost Talk is here when you're ready. So, Tom, again,
thank you very much, Corey, for
thank you so much for coming by, and we'll see you out and about next week again.
321
Thanks, guys.
River Road, Clifton, New Jersey, open 7 days a week, and follow us on social media, Ghost Talk Brewing Co. Great,
Thanks, guys.